And I waited and waited, and he still didn't turn up. And then I came to know that he had flown out the day we had the talk. That was a day earlier, flown out in the evening, flown to a country he didn't know anything about.
Rocking Mama to Real Mama, Mamta B.
Still on the subject of community, I'm lucky to belong to a small neighborhood of 7 houses. It's a very small cluster. And we're all from different ethnicity. We're all from different professional backgrounds. We have our own different traditions. But somehow, I think the differences kind of bring us together. Now, I was telling you about the early morning garbage truck. And then, of course, we have the vegetable vendor who comes calling almost every morning at 9 a.m. And one morning, he was there with his cart full of vegetables. And we all ventured out to buy vegetables. And then he mentioned something about planning to leave the country for finding better opportunities, which came as a surprise to me because I never knew that he was actually wanting to go out. So I asked him where? When are you going out? And he seemed a bit confused. He says, I don't know. I could be flying anytime, today, tomorrow. But I asked him, where exactly are you going? He didn't sound very sure, but then he said Georgia. I said, what? Georgia? Georgia, as in a city in the US, or are you going to the country near Russia? And believe it or not, he had no idea where he was going. He said, I don't know, but they say it's called Georgia. Now, I felt a bit of a panic. Here was this young man working so hard every day, and now suddenly planning to leave the country without even knowing where he is going. I came back and I decided I should do some research for him, just to help him out to understand at least a little bit more about the country that he's going to. And obviously, I felt he was going to Georgia, not to the US. I read up a bit about this country and gathered enough information to at least let him know what language they speak there, what currency they use, what food they might be having. And I waited and waited, and he still didn't turn up. And then I came to know that he had flown out the day we had the talk. That was a day earlier, flown out in the evening, flown to a country he didn't know anything about. Now, this made me really, really sad. Sad because, of course, now, who's going to get me my fresh vegetables every day? How are we going to catch up with our neighbors every morning and chit-chat and gossip about everything? That whole morning routine came to a halt. And that made me really sad. But what made me even more sad was the fact that we had young, intelligent people like him working here every day and leaving what he was doing to go find better opportunities, take this chance, and live on hope and prayer to be able to land at a country and earn more, to, manage his family, to manage providing the financial stability for his family back home. And then to think, this is just one of them. There must be thousands of others who are leaving the country unknown, paying huge amounts to these agencies and being flown to countries they have no idea about. They should have been given a good briefing about all of this. They should have been given a full background check about the country they were going to, the situations, the language, the people, what they should expect. Taking this chance was definitely not out of choice. It was out of basic necessity for him, just like thousands of others. And what can you do when you have so little domestic employment opportunities here in Nepal? What can you do when there's not one political party or there's one continuous political party leading the country in the right direction? You don't have good governance. You don't have good pay. You don't have a skill-oriented education background. And then you have social and family pressure. You can't blame people for leaving the country and, taking such a chance to go and find better opportunities just so that they can send some money back home. 3 months went by, no vegetables at my doorstep anymore. Had to make many trips to the market because I kept forgetting what I need. And this went on for a long time, till just 2 weeks back, I heard this familiar voice saying, "Tarkari," outside my gate. And I thought, I'm dreaming. I really am. This can't be true. I heard it again. And then I rushed out to check. Could this be Bhanu Bhai back in the neighborhood? And guess what? Lo and behold, there he was, smiling as always, pushing his cart full of fresh vegetables. And I thought, my goodness, I never thought I would see this day ever again. Of course, the first question for all of us, what happened? And yes, as we all can guess, he, along with 30 others, got duped by his manpower agency, and 30 of them flown off to Georgia for sure. And the owner of the manpower agency quietly made his way into India. And there, these 30 young people in Georgia, in a place he doesn't even remember where. They stayed inside a hostel for 30 days. No employment, no money earned, just basic food. Sure, Georgia is the birthplace of wine, but doesn't make any difference to somebody who has no penny in their pockets. 3 months went by, and nothing happened, till one day they decided it's time to go back home. And they all came back without a single penny. In fact, all of them in debt. Where is the fairness in all of this? The only positive thing I could take away from this was he was back here in Nepal, alive, and that he immediately came back to doing what he was doing, earning his daily wages, working hard for sure, but at least he was getting his daily wages by pushing that cart of vegetables. "I will never leave the country ever again, Didi," is what he said. It made me feel happy, but again, it made me feel so sad for the way he had been deceived along with the 30 others. Our morning routine is back on track. Now again, every morning we meet up around his cart. We buy our vegetables, we share our recipes, we share gossip, we talk about the weather. And I hope that we as a community can help this young man feel like that he was truly valued, that his absence made a lot of a difference to our community, and with that we are very happy to have him back again. And I hope we as a community, as a small neighborhood, we are able to give him the support that he needs right here at home.
Hits FM 91.2